So we just finished the roll cage and the crossfire, and now it's time to get onto the engine and that type of stuff. But we've got a little bit of downtime while we wait for parts to show up to try to mess around with that, because we'll need things like the transmission and that type of thing just to try to mock up and figure out exactly how we're going to mount everything. So in that meantime, we're going to do the project that I've wanted to do for a while, and that's to make a proper powder coating oven. So that way we're not using the toaster oven, and I'm not using a household oven, which, although it does work really well, it's not the most accurate on temperature. So it can fluctuate and can cause issues, and sometimes it's just not quite the right size to get some things in. So we're gonna do a slightly oversized oven today, and hopefully it works pretty well. Alright, so essentially the heart and soul of this thing is going to be in this controller. It's a Inkbird model. It's a PID system, so it's designed to work well for everything, and yeah. Anyways, we've got that, and then we also have a relay here, which comes with its own heatsink. So these will be our main items that we got. Of course, the power probe, and that's going to go with our oven element that I've been hanging on the wall here. This is a pretty strong unit. I want to say it's almost 4,000 watts. It's in the mid 3,000s, but it's one of the highest wattage oven burners that I could find. It's got the extra loops in here that which generate more heat. Usually you see these things that only have like 3 loops, but anyways, that's what we'll get working on, and let's just start dragging over our pieces and start cutting them to size. Alright, so for this, we're going to be using some steel studs. I got the pretty thick ones, so we have enough room for packing a lot of insulation in there, and it should help reduce transfer of heat to the outside of the oven. So, our sections we are going to make are 3 foot. So that pretty much tells you that our oven's going to be 3 foot by 3 foot. So, we got the majority of our parts to actually get started. All right, so I got this done here. We're not going to screw in on this first edge here because you'll see exactly what I'm doing in a couple moments when I grab the piece to sheet this up. All right, so I got a piece cut out for it. And so I essentially got the cheapest place you can find sheet metal. And that's a piece of sheet metal roofing. That way on this end over here, it's covering over those screws that we put in the studs. And then up here where it's flat, we'll just have to put the screws in there and call it a day. So this is the bottom. Now we're going to have to go through this whole process and make one for the top. And then we'll just fasten it together and we'll be there. All right, so this is the next phase. This is another wall I'm kind of mocking up in here. Kind of didn't need to show you all the cutting and stuff, but as you can see here, these are going to be the side walls. So you'll have these sections. So the bottom section and the top section will bolt on in this space. That'll be the side wall. And it'll be pretty much good. Now we just gotta zip a couple screws in here. Alright, so essentially what we're looking at, see if it works. Is right like that. It's not looking too bad. We'll figure out what to do with the seams at a later time, but this will probably do just fine. Probably get some like thin angle iron and we'll just screw it in there and call it a day. Alright, well it's getting entirely too cold out here, but we just finished the back section. So hopefully everything should work. Looks like we got something hanging on the wall. It's still in the way. Alright, that's taken care of. Alright, so I got all three walls set up. So now all I have to do is drill some holes for the burner in the back here. Then I'll be getting somewhere. Alright, now we're going to reinforce this thing a little bit so we can hang things from the ceiling. So, we're just going to cut out a little bit in these I don't know what you would call them, ridges or whatever. Alright, so we got that second cut out. And I got these, what are they, 1/2 inch? Yep, 1/2 inch conduits. And we're just going to jam them in there. And there we go. Now it has a really strong structure, and then when I get to hanging stuff, I can just put a sheet metal screw through the top of that ridge, and it'll go straight into the conduit, and then we'll be good to go there. I'll probably come down here from the top, put a couple sheet metal screws into that conduit as well, just to keep it from moving around, and to give it a little more structure, but that's what we're looking at. And the last guy's in, and we got 2 more to put in, and then it's probably about time to start insulating. But I've been using scraps to kind of put some structure behind these kind of relatively flimsy walls. As you can see, they kind of wiggle around. So I'm just bracing it up with a couple pieces of scrap. These guys down here, I just took the entire scrap piece, zapped it on. So we're making our way around there. I'm going to put these bars in and finish edging up these edges, and then we'll start insulating. Alright, so I got this all insulated, and what we need to do next is run some wires before we close up this backside here. So we'll just run some 12 gauge here. Okay, well, there she be. Kind of a interesting setup here now. So, this steel panel I just stole from up there. They must have had some sort of heater up there or something. But stole from there so I didn't have to buy anything extra. Currently the chain is my latch system, but I'll get some sort of actual latch that will actually pull it together. Essentially all that I did was just throw stuff together to try to make it work. I'm most likely going to have to come through here in the junction and put a seal. And I'm thinking just some header wrap. Maybe stuff a little bit of actual fiberglass inside the header wrap and make it kind of poof out there. Something like that. Then we can just screw that on. Otherwise we got this. It kind of shuts. Oh well. Okay, so up here we did our wiring. And make sure everything's
in good. All right, so you got your big wire coming through, attached to here. One end goes to the burner, and then the other end goes up to power for the little module. And then the other end of this goes to the solid state relay, where the other side of the burner goes. And then up here, this little red and green wire is the other side of the power for the module. Then over here we have our thermocouple, which the instructions really jacked up the location of that, so that's always fun. And then we have the other, which should be your ground, and we just grounded it to the case. So hopefully this should do what it should, and we don't burn the place down. We'll just leave it kind of ghetto rigged up here, and basically just so we can test it out and see if it actually works. But before I do that, I'm gonna have to wire my 220 with a proper utility outlet for that thing. All right, so before we actually get to test out this big old massive oven to actually see if it works, we're going to have to swap out this adapter here, this outlet. So we'll switch in to this one here. This is more of a standard 220. So you got your slanty, your ground. Over here it was just two straights. So now it's just a matter of going to the fuse box and finding which one. We really only have two 220s out here, and just in case, we got our depth detector. So that tells you that there's power running through that. So I'm gonna go kill some fuses. I'm gonna kill one and then check to see if it's plugged into the same one, just so I can have an idea of which set is what, because nobody marked it, like usual. Alright, so I killed off the big one that runs the air compressor, and I hope this isn't on the same one, but it'd be my luck that it is. Yep. Nothing. These still have power, but this one, nothing, no power. So unfortunately, this is hooked up to the same outlet breaker as the big air compressor, so that's less than fun. But at some point I'll probably go into the main box and switch this outlet to that other breaker and just discontinue whatever was on the other breaker, but that is neither here nor there. So let's just get taking care of this thing and we'll be in business. And of course it's a flathead, like always. Alright, so it looks like we got a musical motor issue here. So I think I'm going to come over here, slide my shelving over a little bit, and then take these engines and relocate it somewhere else, so that way the oven can have a spot right there in the corner by the outlet. So I'm going to get working on that and hopefully see if we can fire this thing up. Alright, well this definitely isn't its final resting place because it doesn't fit here worth a darn, but I guess it'll do for now. So I guess the next order of business is crank up the power and see if she blows up. And in the very famous words, here we go. Contact. Oh hey, there we go. Now, I gotta find the instructions to figure out how to program the little PID here. let's just tell it to heat up to 200. That way we can get a idea of what we're looking at. So far it's already up to 40 degrees. Let's just crank it up and take a peek. Oh yeah. That's not too bad. All right, well, I think I've done enough work on this giant POS here, and it's currently working, so I'm gonna consider that a job well done and get moving on to more fun things. But anyways, I might have to go and rewire some of this with a extra switch, since it doesn't look like the little PID thing has a easy on and off. So I'll just have to figure something out there. But anyways, I guess that's gonna be enough for today. It's kind of cold out here. I got some videos to edit and more stuff to do on the Crossfire. Next big episode, you're not gonna want to miss what I got sitting over here. So stick around, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.